and welcome back to another episode of AgogeTV. I'm your host Phil Leonard. Joining me in a second will be my co-host Josh Summersgill and our guests for the day, Elliot and Jamie Simmonds. Elliot is a multi-time games athlete. He's competed on teams and as an individual at the CrossFit Games, and in this year's Open he finished 24th in the world. Also joining him is his wife, formerly Jamie Greene, now Jamie Simmonds, who is the third fittest female athlete in the world as of the 29 CrossFit Games. We have a really cool conversation. It's full of laughs. We talk about their relationship and how they deal with training as a couple. We talk about coaching experiences and all kinds of fun and games with regards to who's better at what. They're both really modest and really good people to talk to. So hope you all enjoy the podcast, guys. Before we move on to the podcast, I just really quickly need to thank our sponsor, xendurance.eu. Xendurance offered a discount code of 20% off using the code AgogeTV AgogeTV20 at checkout. That's 20% off anything you buy in store, guys. So check them out. xendurance.eu. Hope you enjoy the show. Hi everyone, thank you very much for joining us today. On today's podcast we have Elliot and Jamie Simmonds. Jamie used to be known as Jamie Greene, but they've recently got married. So first things first, congratulations, guys. It's always, I always find it like Josh. I say Josh recently got married. He's just got married. I say he's just got married. He's been married for nearly 12 months now. I still find it weird thinking that he's married. Is that a thing for you guys? Have you kind of come to terms with being married yet? Oh yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't, like, nothing changes, does it? So you don't really not think about it. And then when you do think about it, it's a bit surreal, really.
Until you have to explain them as your husband.
Yeah.
The thing that I thought was really weird was everyone said, like, make sure you plan something for the day after the wedding. So, like, obviously the wedding's such an amazing day, and the day after you're a bit like, now what? But we didn't really get that. Like, did you guys, or did you have like a come down or anything from it? Or
We did a bigger party after the wedding.
Yeah, we were really lucky. So we had because obviously we did it in New Zealand, so all of our friends from here travelled over. We made a bit of a holiday out of it, so we just had like weeks and weeks of endless fun, really. So it was more like when we came back here, it was a bit of a like holiday blues more than wedding blues.
Yeah.
Wow.
oh, amazing. So that's the world's fittest wedding, basically. What that is.
Good. There was a few people that couldn't come as well that would have made it a bit fitter, but it was we had like Briggsy there and
Wow.
and bars and all that lot.
Yeah.
Cody,
To be fair, we did discuss getting Anthony Monks on the podcast just to surprise you. I was like, I wonder if we could get him on, but he seems to have disappeared off social media. So,
on Instagram every now and again. But we live with them, so
right. So it wouldn't have been that much of a surprise. I was like,
I've lived with him for 6 years now, so
I was like, I wonder how much stick Ant could give Elliot.
yeah, don't get me started on that. It was clutch. He was obviously my best man at the wedding, and we didn't expect him to do like this amazing speech, and his speech was just incredible.
Yeah.
Like just incredible, and like everybody since then.
I think I expected him to do a good one.
Yeah, good one, but not what he did.
It was very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome, I love that.
No best man speech is appropriate for any podcast I'm going to go with. So,
Quite PG actually.
well played. Josh's wasn't PG, was it, lad?
I got railroaded. We're not going to go down that road.
So, obviously, guys, one thing I want to ask you about. You've just completed the Rogue Invitational. Jamie, you competed, and Elle, I believe you were support crew for the event. So, how was that experience for both of you?
I think it was a lot more stressful for Elliot. The job seemed to have 3 weeks of work, whereas mine was just the weekend.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, like, I really enjoyed it, and I think with the place that everyone's been in, like, mentally and physically, I think it was just such a well-timed and perfectly run event. Like, it was just what everybody needed in our community, you know. But yeah, like Jay said, there was just a few obstacles. Like, as much as I love living in the UAE, there's a lot of obstacles that come with living here, such as like banned websites and apps and stuff. So all like the scoring apps and all that stuff that they were using, I had to like go through different routes that everyone else had to do. And then all the equipment got stuck in Dubai because of the roadblock that I told you guys about. And we had to try and permit to get it shipped down here. And
Right, wow.
And then we were on a curfew, so we had to sleep in the gym.
Yeah, we had to sleep in the curfew because if you're outside the curfew, you get a big fine.
Oh, that, yeah. Did one of you post that on Instagram? I was wondering what that was about. Oh, right, wow.
Yeah, so 10 p.m. is a curfew.
Yeah, so it was literally like we just had to bend over backwards for it, but it was worth it.
Yeah, it was definitely worth it.
So how did you like? So you say you kept at the gym. Was that like a case of just like sleeping bags, or did you manage? Is there like somewhere for you to actually go and sleep?
No, well, one of our friends has a roll-up mattress. So we've got like a nutrition room with a wooden floor and a sofa. So we just put the cushions from the sofa underneath the roll-up mattress and then slept on that for 2 nights.
Right. Okay.
It just adds to the story and the experience, that doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like to be fair, we got more sleep than we thought we would.
Yeah.
We did a lot better than we thought we would,
Yeah.
which is really good. So.
Right.
Yeah, well, and it was easy. You finish the workouts, literally shower and go to bed.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about getting home or anything.
So what time was it when you was finishing the workouts?
We finished the first night just before midnight, like
Right.
11.
I think the first night was 11 and the second night was
Like-
half midnight.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right, okay. So it's not too bad, I suppose. Not quite Cara Saunders in the middle of the morning.
I was going to say there was a lot of press around Cara, obviously, getting like just basically doing it at 2 a.m. And I'm like,
Yeah.
But
And then
obviously,
like starting at that time, which makes it so much worse.
yeah, you won't get anything out of me at 2 a.m. Nothing at all. Cool, awesome, and I just wanted to ask as well. Like, I thought the events were pretty reasonably programmed as well. There was nothing like too much of a curveball in there, and obviously, they did well to program unique events considering like what equipment they had available and stuff. What was your favourite event to take part in?
I really enjoyed the first one, so like the burpees.
Yeah.
It was good, yeah.
They did very well at like fitting a lot of work in only 6 workouts. Like everyone was, I think, really beat up by the end of the 6 workouts just because of the volume of some of the movements in it. I also actually in the end really enjoyed the chipper.
Right.
Evil. It was pretty brutal, but yeah. But by the end of it, once it was done,
Hang on. Elle's face says otherwise there. So,
and those snatches were, I can't say I enjoyed that one.
no, I don't.
I will never be doing that workout ever.
I watched Sam doing it.
Made me sick. Yeah.
Have you been back to watch Sam go through the event?
Yeah. That night, we were like, that is crazy.
Yeah, it just didn't surprise me that I was messaging her throughout the weekend. I was just like, oh, standard you. Absolutely standard, doing 60 more reps than everybody else for no reason. You've already got...
But she didn't know.
Oh,
so
no, I know she
fair
didn't
enough.
know, but still, it's just standard British.
Yeah. So,
It's just a crazy mentality, that though, isn't it? I think, like you say, because nobody knew what everyone else was doing. Like it's almost like open-esque, isn't it? It's like, well, I don't know. I've just got to keep going.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That couldn't be better written for Briggsy. Like sub-maximal weights you can just do all day, and like she proves that even at her age now, she's the fittest woman. Like in terms of that sort of capacity, she's the fittest woman on earth. In that respect.
She's just not slowing down either, is she? Do you know what I mean? You're expecting her to start slowing down. She just doesn't.
There are plenty of things that are trying to slow her down, but yeah, she's adamant that she won't let them.
That's right.
Definitely. No, like I personally love watching it, and it was great, just great to see people competing. So like,
I think they did a phenomenal job. I mean, like literally all the I don't know if you guys know or the people listening know, but literally all the streams are just on iPhones or whatever phone you got.
Right.
Wow.
No, didn't know that.
Yeah, and then the scoring stuff is done by like the ops manager. So like whoever was the ops manager for the athlete, we're like behind doing like the scoring reps, so you can see how many reps they're on. And then there's like a backup GoPro camera if the live stream cuts out or whatever. But it was synchronized off like a worldwide timer app, where you basically like your time was just the time on Columbus, Ohio, and you counted down 3, 2, 1 yourself. And,
Right.
The logistics behind it are unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? So, fair play.
Like, obviously, there's usually a pretty big atmosphere in any CrossFit gym. So how was staying quiet, like max clean and jerk, and like everyone's going shh? Do you know what I mean? Like,
no one there.
Yeah, like, so it was literally like, I saw obviously a lot of the other athletes had lots of people in the gym anyway, but
Right.
not speaking. So like, you still had a bit of hype there. But we obviously were on curfew, so no one could stay unless they wanted to stay the night. So it was literally Elliot and the judge. So they got to listen. Yeah, it was every so often Al would like whisper things at me. And,
come on, guys. Yeah.
And it's also weird as well. Like I was saying this to Jay at the time, is it's weird because obviously when you're just in the gym training, you speak and you might give each other like cues and tips or whatever, but then in a competition you're never there. So like it's that weird way up of like you're in a competition, but we've also got the point where she can hear me give her feedback, but like does she want that? Do you know what I mean? Like when you're in the zone, you don't necessarily want anybody.
Yeah.
But then because you're in your own gym and we see each other train all the time and give each other tips, it was trying to weigh up, well, do I say something now or do I just like shut up and leave it to it, you know?
yeah.
Bit of a hard one that as well, because like you say, when you're in the gym and you're just training, somebody only has to say something, not necessarily a cue to you, and you're like, yeah, okay. Do you know what I mean? But as then, like you say, if you're on the competition floor and you can't hear anybody, I suppose it's a bit of a weird one, really.
Does go both ways as well, though, because sometimes somebody says something to you and you're like, fuck off, I'm at my pace. Like I'm bang on pace, leave me alone. Like,
it's trying to find that like optimal point, you know?
Yeah. It's funny because when me and Josh train, like Josh always judges anything that I do in the open. Not that I do spectacular, but like I can't do maths when I'm out of breath. I can't do maths when I'm not out of breath at the best of times. And I literally just look at him and I'm like, how many reps do you want me to do? And like, so if he shouts out reps at me, I'm just like, okay, I'll do that many reps. Do you know what I mean? But do you guys
every
have,
now and again it'll just be a thumbs up? He's like,
yeah,
you know what it's like.
Do you guys have a similar sort of thing going on?
Well, we had the judge. The judge was there, like saying that. But yeah, every so often I could hear Al would be like, just pick it up. Come on, you got to move. But like, I thought for a few of them that he knew where I was, but then afterwards I realized that he didn't, because obviously he's doing the scoring anyway. So it was kind of like just
right, yeah.
around. Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
Cool. I'm quite concerned that I'm comparing mine and Josh's relationship to yours now.
Didn't say he was married too.
Just bros, honest. So guys, another quick, just to move on from the Rogue Invitational, I've got to ask, what's going on with you guys with regards to potentially competing at the games? Do you know where you're at with it? Are you still on the fence, or how's things going there?
We're keeping it pretty open at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, see what comes about. I'm happy to go either way.
Yeah, I think both of us have just said like, if the games is on and we can get there, that we'll compete.
Yeah.
From our personal, like obviously we don't hold any grudges against anyone else or their opinions. Like everyone's entitled to do what they want, and we personally don't feel pressured by what any other athlete's doing. You know, if people want to make a decision based on their own opinion, then that's absolutely fine. But yeah, obviously, you know, like has to be said, we don't support Glassman and what he's said and what he's done at all. But yeah, I think I'm not going to turn my back on the whole CrossFit community and competing at the games just because of that. You know?
Yeah, no, I get that. And
the sport does need to grow as well. So if it grows in another way,
yeah, we're pretty open.
Yeah, like we're open to that as well. I feel like we're quite, I know it's not really fair to say, but like we're a bit out of it being in the UAE because we don't hear about a lot of the stuff that goes on and all this extra drama, but extra sort of stuff that goes on in the US and things.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're exactly right saying that. So, like, what will eventually get down to you guys will be like the actual facts.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Not all like the noise that you see all over, like, you know, like you say, social media and stuff like that. So, yeah, no, I understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel sorry, you know, like everyone from athlete to affiliate owner to just, you know, your regular gym goer has been put in a really tough position.
Yeah.
And I really feel for everybody. And I think worse is that we're in a point because of COVID where everyone is feeling a little bit cooped up and you know, a little bit fragile as it is. So everybody feels like they're pressured to make a decision and please certain people, or, you know, like people, like opportunists are coming out for whatever. And I think everybody should just, you know, like take 5 minutes, just see what happens in the coming weeks, and then weigh up your options. Because like Jamie said a few weeks ago, which like is just stuck in my head, like you can always say something, but you can never take it back. You know, once you kind of have to stick with your guns unless you're going to apologise and say, oh, look, I was wrong, I acted too quickly or whatever. So, you know, we've got a lot of friends who compete, a lot of friends who are seminar staff, a lot of friends who have affiliates, and, you know, people are doing different things, but we've never had any negative experience with CrossFit, both from coaching or competing. So we feel no desire to, you know, just abandon ship. So,
And also, like, personally, we'll just sort of steer out of the social media part of it. Like, we'll get on calls and stuff with people who need to, but with social media stuff.
Yeah, I feel like
a bit crazy.
Yeah, I feel like we're in just a bit of a crazy time right now. So you're better off just, you know, standing for what you believe in, staying in your own lane, not being influenced by other people. I mean, really, the only person who can put pressure on yourself is yourself. And if you're feeling influenced by people calling you out on social media, then, you know, that's not a nice position for anyone to be in, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know with millions of followers right now getting messages from people that don't even know.
Definitely. I mean, we experienced that. We were like we ended up unaffiliating, but when we talked about it with people and stuff, and what a lot of people didn't realize is our decision time was pretty much up because our affiliation was up. So it was like we got one of two choices. Do we continue to stand on the brand right now that isn't really doing anything for us, or do we try and build our own brand?
Yeah, and I think the problem, I think a lot of people just assume that, you know, everyone's de-affiliating because of what's happened at the minute. But actually what they don't realise is there were a lot of businesses in a place where they were like, well, actually having this CrossFit affiliation isn't doing anything for our business anyway. It doesn't mean we're not going to preach the CrossFit methodology. It just means that I don't want to be grand. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean that you don't believe in it necessarily. So yeah, I think it's just more like, it's again the power of the media and how they want to play it, you know.
Yeah, that 100% agree. So to get us on to some more fun stuff, basically, because we don't want to spend too much time dwelling on
we don't do depressing.
No, we don't. Let's get on to the more fun stuff. So how did you guys meet? I know you told Elle, I've heard you tell it before, so I'll aim the question at Jamie. How did you guys meet? And is he
gone? Doesn't want to hear it.
Or something, I don't know.
Yeah, he's one of them. So, well, actually, what was that? CrossFit, yes.
Yeah.
We'd actually moved to the UAE like a week apart. I think Elliot moved like the end of August, and I moved start of September in 2014. And obviously, Elliot was coaching at Yes, and I was a home PT in Abu Dhabi. So I used to come to Yes just to train. I think I stuck in for the first 3 weeks, so I didn't have to pay a membership. But these boys wouldn't come up and say anything to me.
No, not these boys. Fraser Knox.
Fraser Knox.
His job was to make sure that
people pay. But I used to just walk in and say, like, "Hi, morning, how are you?" And he would never say anything. So
until one day he came up and was like, "Boys, she's not been paying. What job did you?"
And obviously, I pay if you asked, but I didn't ask, so we carried on. And then we actually ended up going up to Dubai for the DFC qualifiers.
Right.
And we staying up there the night because of how late they used to do the workouts at like 11 p.m. at night. We just stayed at a hotel there, and obviously we were all too cheap to buy different hotel rooms. So it started.
Brilliant. I love it.
Me, Elliot, and Nan.
You've made that sound far less romantic. We didn't like... Me and Anthony all shared the same hotel room, and there was no funny business. Like, we started dating as a result of that weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want.
That's how I got to know you.
Yeah,
And then when we came back
you need
to
to
Abu
be
Dhabi,
clear because people make assumptions.
Yeah.
I
You've
want
got to be
outsiders,
careful what
though.
goes out on social media nowadays.
There'll be a morning shortcut post tomorrow.
No, we're tight with Justin. It's fine. We'll get we'll get on to him. No, that's awesome. That's cool. I like it. So you then went on to compete together on a team. Like I've tried competing on a team with my girlfriend, and she's probably going to walk in and start and hear me saying this now, so I'm going to get in trouble. But for lack of better terms, it was hard work. So, and we have a rule in our gym to say that basically don't coach your missus. It's not going to end well for anybody. So, how do you guys handle that?
we've had a few moments throughout the years.
No, we've had three like memorable tiffs whilst working out.
Yeah.
One 2015 regionals because I didn't jump up to the bar quick enough. Because, you know, my mate's a lot fitter here and she's ready to finish the workout and I needed a rest. And then 2016 games, I thought we'd finished the set and I went to drop the worm and it literally swung round and twatted her and knocked her over. We had another one? Oh, me driving in Switzerland.
Yeah. It was because
And
I
that's
was
about it. And that's because Jamie had been on a girls' holiday for 2 weeks. Missed that.
Yeah. So,
But other than that, no, it's easy.
But we know not to like I wouldn't. There's a few things I would never coach Elliot in. A few things.
No, I think honestly, like the best thing is just Jamie's nature. Like she's very like relaxed and down to earth and accepting of like any feedback or coaching that like either of us have to do. I mean, like when Jay first came to Yas, Anthony and I like helped her out with some like technique stuff.
Coaching.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she was an athlete in terms of like she was so fit, but she didn't necessarily like know CrossFit or know movements as well as Anthony and I did, and she was just very welcoming of any feedback we gave her. And I think that from there, really, that's where it came from. So she's just like, I mean, Andy will say the same. She's just a very coachable person. Yeah.
I suppose it works as well because obviously, Jamie, you met Elliot as a coach. Does that make sense? So it wasn't like you guys were together and then obviously Elliot pursued coaching and then he started coaching and so on and so forth. Like something we've talked with some of our friends about is sort of like, so Elliot, how well would you respond to being cued by Jamie compared to somebody else that would say the exact same cue?
Depends how the session's going.
Yeah.
So, if it snatches and I'm not snatching very well, she knows not to speak to me.
I think I know not to.
Yeah.
There's points, and like I know sometimes like I'll say something to Elliot and I can tell at the time he doesn't listen. But then I can tell that like a few hours later he's like, I thought about it and it's like, okay, actually maybe I might take that.
I'm a lot more mature now than I used to be. Like back in the day, I'd kind of just be like, yeah, whatever. Whereas now I try and just like acknowledge the fact somebody's trying to help you, and then even if you don't use it there and then, think about it at a later date.
Yeah.
I get very emotional while snatching. Let's put it that way.
I get that, really do. So one great thing we do is basically Josh will come to me and say to me, like his wife's name's Rach, and he'll be like, you tell Rach this. And then I go over and go, Rach, it's like when you're stepping on that box, just like stay on your heel. It's something dead simple. Do you know what I mean? And like, and I'll go to him, hey, Josh, will you tell Emma to like to like not roll like a T-Rex and.
We all speak English, just to make that clear. Like.
No matter what it is, it always comes better when it comes from Josh. No matter what it is, especially with my missus. Rach is a bit more understanding, I think. But like,
I think like from our perspective, a lot of it comes from whenever we've all competed together. Like we're all so like trusting and understanding of each other, and we're all coaches, so we all kind of take on board what everyone else has to say. Like when it was the six of us, Tammy and Natan in a relationship, but both coaches, Ant and Sabs in a relationship. Sabs was the only one who wasn't the coach, but was very welcoming of any feedback. we all had, and same with both of us. We're in a very unique position.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I like it. I think basically you're all trying to pursue the same goal. You know what I mean? Like which helps. And I think you guys probably have an even better understanding because you're on a similar level with regards to like what you're trying to achieve. Do you know what I mean? Like, whereas I'm trying to do well in the open and my missus just wants to get sweaty. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have plenty, like we have a CrossFit program and a Metcon program, and the Metconers are exactly like that. They're like your missus, you know. They're just like, I don't want it. I just want just break my back swinging this kettlebell. And you're like, well, okay. I mean, okay.
That's what you want. That's what you want.
Yeah. Try and stay safe. Don't sue me. That's the.
Just keep your chest. We'll compromise.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask as well. Ellie, are you coached by Jousey? Or is you're coached by Jousey, and Jamie, have you got a coach or?
Yeah, Andy Edwards.
Andy Edwards. Cool. So I'm going to quickly ask about Elle's relationship with Jousey because we had Emma on recently, McQuaid, and obviously they've got a cool relationship. So what's it like to be coached by Jousey? I've met him and he's a cool guy. But obviously the way I describe him is he's a mad scientist. Like he just has an idea, disappears, and then comes back with a dead good idea, or like a dead good solution sort of thing. You're like, oh, okay, yeah. And is it like that to be coached by him, or do you find he's a little bit more? I don't know what the word is. Like explain things a bit more to you.
No, I think it's definitely a good analogy of him for a scientist, but he is very methodical. Like he does know what he's talking about, and he does think of like a big picture. Sometimes he does go off on tangents and he'll run with something for a bit, and then he'll kind of forget what like the vision of this double kettlebell reach thing was. But then he always comes back around. The way I always see him, like I mean, I see him as a friend and not just a coach as well. But he's I don't know if you've ever spoken to him about like anything, but he's very much like Carl Pilkington.
Yeah. I love that.
I find Carl Pilkington funny, which actually shows you that he's just like Carl Pilkington because he thinks the same as he does. But no, he's top, mate. I mean, I've been with him now for 5 years. So Andy, Jamie's coach, was my coach originally because I was with Andy and Carl. And when we came over here, he coached me and then Jamie jumped in on the and then I started seeing the dog and then I started seeing when I got injured and originally it was just for to get back to moving like properly and injury free again, but I began to trust him in the process so much that I just stuck with him.
I can see that. Like, yeah, he helped me out with knee injury, and like I can see how that'd happen for sure.
It's a very, very familiar process that people tend to go through, isn't it? Like in competitive, whether it's CrossFit weightlifting or like you'll train, you'll get injured, and then it's like I need to move better. Do you know what I mean? I don't like being injured, and obviously like the natural place to go for you would have been Jousey. So yeah, it's I can understand why you went to him, definitely.
Yeah, cool. And so, Jamie, you're, obviously, I'm less aware of your coach. What's your relationship with him like? And like, I always find that the coach-athlete relationships are very individual. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're never never the same between person to person. Like, say, Emma's relationship with Jousey could be completely different to Elle's. So, what's your relationship like with your coach, and how did you find him? That kind of thing.
Well, me and Andy are both pretty chilled and both pretty shit with communication. So literally it's like through two coaches, like weeks later I was like, oh yeah, I was meant to tell you about that. But I think Elliot talks to Andy a lot more than I do. And like if I have questions or anything, Elle knows how Andy thinks or has been programmed by him before. So I'm just like, oh, Elliot, what does he mean by this?
I'm the mediator between the two of them, basically. Me and Andy had a great relationship when he was my coach, and like now he's one of my best mates and advisors. And yeah, so like over the years, whenever Jamie's not understood something, I've kind of translated for him. Because Andy's more of a mad scientist than Jousey in that respect. He'll just like put all this stuff on a sheet, and you have to abbreviate everything that he says and try and understand his thought process behind it. But
and I'm over in the corner of the gym doing something, and I was like,
that's not what you meant to
that's
say.
not.
So basically, El, you're responsible for Jamie doing so well in CrossFit. That's what you're saying, isn't it?
No, it's very good. Like at the games, like Andy stays in the room with us, and it's just the three of us, and it's always good fun. Like he's.
This year was the first year that's happened. It's happened before. Like we've done it at comps, but I think this year was the first year we shared the actual like hotel room. Not, like, an apartment.
So he's very chilled, and like he works perfectly for me. So
Awesome.
I like it. So the other thing that, and this, I don't know whether this one's going to be a sensitive subject, so by all means, I think that Elliot is the fittest man in the UK. You know, you're not in the UK, but you get my point. So by the open standards, you finished higher than any other British male, therefore you're the fittest man in the UK. Yeah?
I don't know where he's going with this, by the way.
Just like, don't get us in trouble. But obviously, everybody else might say that Zach George is the fittest man in the UK because he got the spot on the leaderboard. In your opinion, where do you see that? Do you think you should have got the invite via being the British champ because you beat more people essentially?
I think the way the system is, mate, like it is what it is, and Zach is the British champion. I can't, it hurts me to say that. I wanted to keep it very badly, like. It is sensitive in terms of like I'm not happy about it, but I'm like it's my own fault. If I wanted it badly and I thought I just won, that's the end of the day. But the only thing like we spoke about earlier is Zach lives in the UK. Zach's got a lot bigger following and stuff, so he's had a lot more support, and fair play to him. Like he's climbed at the leaderboard and he's worked hard for it, but. From my perspective, and I'd say, like I'm saying this openly, like we've competed in many sanctionals against each other, and he's never bettered me in a competition. Like he did in the Open, fair and square, in the UK leaderboard. He did. Did he beat me overall or any other competition? No, he's not. So we'll see how the next few face-offs go. But I do like. I'm very fond of that.
And that's CrossFit as well, isn't it? You've got to be ready for the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And what you said then, Elliot, like in terms of attitude, it's like, well, if I wanted to, I would go and make it happen. Do you know what I mean? I think that's like an incredible way to look at things because it's nothing to do with external factors. It's like, if I want it, I'm going to go and get it.
Yeah.
It's completely my own fault. There might have been a bit of complacency. I don't think there was, but he obviously he obviously wanted it more there and then, and he beat me fair and square.
Only on the UK leaderboard, though. I was sorry. I'm not saying Zach's not an awesome athlete. I think he's great. You know what I mean? And like, I just think that I thought that the way that CrossFit decided to choose who won was against what they'd said previously, which is why I don't like it. So I'm not digging at Zach by no means. And CrossFit can come and cut my head off like they do everyone else's. It's fine.
Yeah. I think actually coming out of what's going on at the minute in the talks CrossFit are having internally, like we've been on a few calls with even Castro, for example, and I think there's going to be some positive changes coming out of all this.
Cool, definitely. Good. I have heard there's going to be an athlete board and stuff that are being put together and stuff. That can only be a good thing for the sport.
I think it will all play out well eventually. We just need to get through this little rough patch, and tensions need to be simmered down, and new relationships need to be formed, and all that stuff.
Yeah, sure, agreed.
I think it's stronger than one person, So hopefully everybody sees something eventually, and we realise we're all trying to achieve the same goal,
Yeah, definitely.
I like it. Okay, so once again, back to the fun stuff. So
it's still fun.
To be honest, like I'm backing you, so I think that no one can shout at me. So Jamie, when you won the Open, and went team, that was kind of the first sort of that you come onto most people's radars. What was that experience like to sort of like turn down an individual spot and be like, was it an easy decision? And I know I think like for me, I think it would be because you go into your team. But for you,
yeah, it never really crossed my mind. Like I was like, maybe I could have gone individual, like, and I would have decided that earlier. But I'd always committed to the team, and like personally, I don't think I would have been ready for individual. Like after competing in the last 3 years. That year I was just really open fit and like prepared to die every week in the open.
I'm going to add a question though. Would you have gone team again? So I don't know if you know, but we got DQ'd at 15.
Yeah, I know, but not sure whether Josh did.
I'll roll with it. Yeah, go on. I do know.
I'm not sure. I think if I committed to already being on team, then I wouldn't change that. Like because I'm not going to let another 5 people down.
Yeah.
And obviously, like team in itself was its own challenge. Very good. But still, even I don't think I was actually that prepared for individual that year. And I don't know. Just like the experience you get on team is just different because you push in a different way that it's not all like if you compete badly, it doesn't just come back on you. It comes back on everyone else. So I don't know. People always ask that, and it didn't even seem like a decision.
And we got games and see what it was like just to be there,
Yeah.
and then compare our experience and look at what the individual.
Yeah, and I've always like I've done CrossFit as well, especially at those years, like just because I loved it. So I wouldn't, keep pursuing something that I like if I didn't enjoy going individual that year, I would have stuck.
Cool. Now, that was a little bit of a leading question because I have heard Elle say on another podcast that it was one of the moments competing in the games as a team that made him realise he could go individual. Was there a moment that made you realise like actually I can do well at this and I can be one of the top athletes in the world? Was there a specific moment for you? And then we'll come back to Elle.
I did not have that moment.
No, just always.
I still don't think Jamie's had that moment. I think coming third last year, kind of giving her the idea, it's like, oh yeah, maybe I can be good at this.
Yeah.
It's for you, mate. They're just like so chilled and modest that like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe.
Welcome to my world of frustration.
Yeah, it's a hard one. Like you always have your doubts or whatever. And like obviously I've been through the last 2 years of going through the ranks, but no, it definitely wasn't like in 2016. I still thought like, oh, these girls they're all doing all this extra work, doing so much training compared to what I was.
Can you imagine winning the Open and not still thinking that you're one of the best athletes in the world? Can you just imagine? Imagine winning the Open and being like,
Phil was top 1,000 and he thinks he's the best in the UK. Can't even comprehend that.
I show up to the gym and think I'm the best.
I don't know. I think over the last few years, I've learned a lot more like how to deal with myself and like mindset. And I think that's made me more confident to sort of build up through and, keep up with the girls.
Cool. Yeah. And by keep up, obviously beat 99.9% of the field, is it? So no, I find it really interesting. And Elle, like I say, I know you spoke a little bit on this before, but you had a moment that sort of made you go, you know what, I can compete at the top level. Like, do you think that people need that moment in like coming through, like when they're coming through the ranks of the sport, that they need that moment to say, I can do this? Because you don't ever really see any like teens coming from a teen, like you don't see across very many CrossFit teens make it into the individual ranks. Do you know what I mean? So do you think that'd be something that you could speak on where like, do they need better progression or just maybe more exposure to the sport at a higher level?
I think for me, like you said, I've spoken it before, like, 2014 regionals was only my second CrossFit comp. But I still very much wanted to be like level 1 SEM staff, a coach or whatever. Like I never really had like aspirations to be an athlete. I always wanted to be a coach. I studied coaching at university. And then obviously 15, 16 we went team, and 17 I was like, oh, I'd like to come top 10. And then being close to qualifying was when I realized, well, actually, like if I got my head down and I put it as my focus, I could do it. So then in terms of like relating that to teens, my personal opinion is that I don't think teenagers should do CrossFit as a sport. I think they should use it as a training method to make them better at their sports that they play at school or at uni or whatever. And then when you're over that cusp of like, you know, you're your own adult and you've got your own responsibilities and you can take yourself to CrossFit and try and do it and pursue it as a sport, I think that's a better age for them to do it. I mean, look at Hayley Adams. She's the only teen to have come through the team ranks and now be doing so well as an individual. And that's, you know, Chris Hinshaw's spoken about it, and I saw you guys had him on your podcast. You know, he's guiding her in a way that is just suiting her natural development. You know, she's not even a full adult yet. So as she reaches that adulthood and she starts to grow into herself, she can then start adding all the strength work and all this. You know, you can see already from Road that the last year's work has been paying off. You know, and I think any team that does, you know, commit themselves to it, then it's a very bold move and brave move. And I'd never say to anyone, don't do it. Like if you've got a dream, chase it. But I think it's a very tough sport to be in for a long time if you start at a very young age.
Yeah.
Like this sport's about longevity and getting better year on year. And if the earlier you start, the more potential like movement patterns and niggles you open yourself up to. I mean, like, you know, it's such a multifaceted sport. There's nothing else like it, right? So,
yeah, love it. Excellent. So, I think that's a brilliant point. And again, I just wanted to get you to sort of like speak on that for a bit. Next thing that we've got up on is basically Elliot versus Jamie. So who would win in, like, we're going to give you like a scenario. So for example, we're going to say a weightlifting workout. Who would be most likely to win in a weightlifting workout, Elliot or Jamie? And you can argue.
It's all relative as well.
Yeah.
Like, you're not on the same bar or anything daft like that.
Yeah. What do you mean Jamie doesn't have to lift the same as Elle? That's
She's only third in the world.
So let's go with that one first. So weightlifting workout. Let's go with the Rogue Invitational final workout, the heavy deadlifts and overhead squats. Who'd win that one?
Yeah,
I don't know.
my deadlifts are better, but you're over it.
Yeah, maybe just for the squats. I think it'd be close. Maybe you should do it.
I think you should do it. Tag us in it.
No fatigue and see if I can beat a time from the 6th workout of the weekend.
Brilliant. So what about straight up, obviously, let's go body weight wise. So weightlifting numbers, who would win? We're not like Sinclair total or something along those lines.
Well, like we've actually discussed, Jamie's still not done it, but for example, like the open ladders, so like this year the Clean and Jerk one or like the regionals workouts and stuff, if they were actually relative in terms of like the actual 70%, because I think they're just under the ones in the open.
Yeah.
I think again it would be close. Like we're very similar in relative strength, but in terms of like, you know, Jamie's closeness to the strength in the top women is much higher than my strength in relative to the top men. You know, it's like women are more well-rounded, but all blokes are strong. Do you know what I mean? Like even
you're actually quite heavy. Or like
not from a height.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, so that when it comes down to that, like if it was like a Sinclair total or whatever, the Elliot,
Not
like
great.
Yeah, I can see you're actually like quite heavy, and people don't think that. Whereas like I'm almost lighter compared to some of the other girls.
Yeah. Cool. I like it.
I feel like I cut Elliot quite deep then when you said
I know, yeah.
He's like, no. From a height, I'm not.
Yeah.
Well, to admit, I always try and put weight on, and I've never heard it be heavy before. I'm like, shut
Yeah.
I'm quite heavy, because normally I get called skinny.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But people, then you say how much you weigh, and they're like,
Really?
Really?
You don't look like that.
Yeah.
How tall are you, Elliot?
6'1".
6'1". And Jamie, how tall are you?
163 centimeters. I don't know.
5'4", I think
Right. Okay. Yeah, 6'1's quite tall for a CrossFit athlete, to be fair.
We've only Brent, really. Like me and Lucas Hogberg's a bit taller as well, but like they're both over 100 kilos, those boys, so I'm similar height to those boys, but they got 10 kilos on me because I weigh about like 10 kilos.
Right, okay.
But then, if you compare me to like Fraser or whatever, he's a little nugget.
There's nothing wrong with being 5'6". Just saying.
I'm gonna start calling Josh a little nugget.
Fuck you.
Oh, brilliant. So I forgot where I was up to there.
5K trail run.
Okay, yeah, 5K trail run. Go.
Yeah. Always, I'd be dragging behind.
The only cardio thing Jamie will beat me in is swimming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything else, I have no chance.
Even like the long regional stuff, like handstand push-ups and pull-ups, we always beat close. Like 26, 17 regionals and 17.
Yeah. Cardio king. Even when he doesn't do it.
Nice. I like it. I wish I were. I am the cardio king, but I'm not. That's only within my small little gym, not in the not in the grander scheme of things. I'm not comparing numbers today. So gymnastics. We'll go for a couple of different gymnastic ones. Let's go 50 strict handstand push-ups. Oh.
Me.
30 muscle-ups.
What is it?
30 muscle-ups for time.
Beat me at the games.
Well, that's no. Jamie's better than that.
Nice.
I did beat her in the games, but Jamie's still better. She got questionable no reps from her judge.
Okay, good. No bitterness, honest. Okay, so if you was to get away from CrossFit a little bit, if you was to play like air hockey or like you go to the fair or whatever,
like foosball or something.
Yeah, something like that. Who wins on those like daft little games?
It's the hell out of me. Yeah.
We're not allowed to go timp and bowling anymore.
Because like the worst technique in the world, and she just hits strike after strike. She throws it backwards, and it like bounces on the thing. You see how pissed off I am just talking? She wins every time, and I end up just sat there and drunk. I hate losing.
I love it. Okay, who takes longest to get ready? Me, sure. What's like so for both of you, what would you say is the weirdest quirk that the other person has? So I don't know. Give me a quick example. What's the weirdest quirk that Rach does, Josh?
So the latest one is on my coffee machine. The milk spout, she has to turn it to 45 degrees for no real reason. Just because she doesn't like it looking straight down. I don't know why. She doesn't even like coffee or the machine.
Yeah.
Where?
I don't know.
Jamie has to leave one bite of food no matter what she eats. For lunch or dinner, there's literally like a half-chewed potato or something on the edge of the plate. She just kept like, as long as there's something left, she's fine.
Is that how on point your macros are, Jamie?
I am literally the complete opposite.
Stuff off my plate, but I can just list them up. I don't want any food, honey. Mine comes. And I hate sharing.
Yeah, that can be my head.
I hate sharing.
Because I try to eat Elliot's food and he won't give me it.
I'll have a bowl of cereal and she's like a chipmunk. You just sit there, cup like.
Yeah, mine's Elliot doesn't share.
That's a guy thing. Like me and Rach went to the Christmas markets last year, and I went and got a Nutella pancake, and she was like, "Oh yeah, should we just share one?" I was like,
"No,
what? Get your own, and I'll have half of yours."
No, what a full one! Well, I'll have half of yours, and then you can.
Exactly.
I do not share food.
Joey doesn't share food.
Yeah.
With, and even then I'm reluctant to it, and that's Anthony's little one. I got her. She's 3 years old, and every morning she tries and eats my breakfast. I'm just like,
No, it's not okay. So my daughter's 10 now, but when she was a baby, she come up like I'd made myself the most perfect bacon butter. The bacon was slightly crispy, a little bit like real butter, a bit of cheese on it, and it was absolutely brilliant. And she just walked over and just put her hand in it, and I've never been so angry in all my life. I was like, she's 4, and I'm like, go and sit on the naughty step. Like, go on, get out of my face. I've never been so angry ever.
I haven't seen Cora in 6 years. I don't know what happened.
Locked in a room. So.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I agree. Don't share food. Okay, last one. Is this the last one? Sorry, yeah. Who's the best cook?
Elliot, easily.
Nice, easy one. Okay, guys. So we're gonna start to wrap it up now. Couple more fun questions to finish. Have either of you got like a book or film recommendation for everybody?
Ooh.
Film, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Nice.
Yeah, like it. Any particular one?
The first one.
First one, yeah.
We just rewatched, me and Anthony at the weekend, we just rewatched that Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. That's just a real good, easy watch film.
Yeah.
Good film.
Me and my missus have got.
Bethany Hamilton. I'm a big fan of her. Just called out her like documentary. So obviously there's a movie on her, but then her actual documentary. That's very good.
Okay, cool. I actually watched one last night. I can't remember his surname. It was Brian something. It's on Netflix at the minute, and it's about a guy who's wrongly accused of raping somebody or something. And he basically has to clear his name, and it's based on a true story. He ended up playing. Basically, he was about to play in the NFL, and he gets in prison for 6 years. But I was so my girlfriend can't watch a serious film for the life of her. And like I put it on, and about 10 minutes in, she's like, "What's this?" And then next thing you know, she's in for the full 2-hour film. So like you know it's good if she can stick to it. Yeah, for one. Any books, guys? Any book recommendations?
Paradox is one that I always recommend by Dr. Steve. I think he's actually just brought a second one out called Chimp Mindset.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
But God, I was actually saying to Jay, like my favourite fictional book is The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho.
Okay.
Right.
Read that one before.
But yeah, I mean, there's loads of books that I've read this year that I'm going to go back through and write notes on. But like, I always find it funny with books because they're open knowledge, but sometimes you don't want other people to find them just in case they find them as useful as you do. It's like, you can read this when I've finished competing.
I totally get that as well.
Yeah. I read it, but as far as I'm concerned, nah, you can't have it. Great book, everyone.
We'll do this interview again when you're done competing. We'll find out all the secrets. Excellent. Okay, so next one. If you could pick another profession, any profession, what would it be?
I'd be a surfer.
Nice. I like
That's
it.
not a profession.
Yeah, you can be a pro surfer.
I mean that I'd be good.
In sport, it'd be golf.
Right.
Out of sport, I don't know. It's a tough one. Like I've always been involved in sport, and I can't imagine having like a desk job or anything like that. So it'd probably be something like I wanted to be a vet for a while when I was younger, so something like that.
Right.
Nice. I like it. Okay, you both coaches, so we always ask coaches, what's your biggest like dick gym move that you hate people doing? So like mine's chalking up your hands for press ups. Like I just like stop it.
Oh, rip dodging.
Rep dodging, yeah.
That's up there. Why?
Cardinal saying that.
Really, why?
Yeah.
Mine is just, I think mine is very general, but it's when people don't believe that you're trying to do what's best for them. You know, like, it's like, you know, I don't take joy in correcting people that don't want to be corrected, but if it's going to make you better at what you do and move more efficiently or get you a PB, like, it's when people don't listen to you, it's like, you know, when people do like push-ups like this or whatever, and go on your knees and keep your elbows in. And they're like, nah. It's like, all right, cool. Good one.
I've tried.
I'm not good at CrossFit or anything, you know.
At least you've got that to fall back on. Like, you two can go like, hey, like, it's not, like, I have to try and make people think that I know what I'm on about. You guys just like, look at my score on the leaderboard. I know what I'm on about.
No one knows it here.
No one knows that here. We come in and they're like, "You've been on holiday, coach?" Like, yeah. At the games.
Brilliant.
You lost weight since you've been gone. Yeah.
Love it. Okay, last ones. We call it this or that, and basically you just pick whatever you prefer. So, example being, I'll say snatch or clean and jerk. You tell me which one is your favourite. We'll start with Jamie and then we'll go Elliot. So, Jamie, snatch or clean and jerk?
Clean and jerk.
El?
Clean and jerk because more consistent.
Yeah.
For some people, yeah. Running or rowing?
Or running.
Air bike or C2 bike?
Oh, sorry, James first.
E-bike.
C2 bike.
Nice. Front squat or back squat?
Back.
Front.
Pizza or ice cream?
Both.
Both.
Hard one. Ice cream.
Ooh. Pizza.
I feel El's just completely disagreeing with everything David said. No, wrong.
Cookies or donuts?
Oh.
no.
Oh. No donuts. Elliot will go everything.
I would go cookies because biscuits are my favourite, but when we lived in London for 3 months last year, I went to donut time twice a week.
Nice.
Cookies on donuts.
Oh, wow.
To be fair, my girlfriend said to me last night, right, we're gonna be on point with our diet, and so I was like, right, well, we're going mad tonight, as you do, because I'm a nutrition coach, so I know what I'm doing. And we got waffles with Lindt chocolate on top of them, and I've never tasted anything like it. Honest to God, whole new level. Like, couldn't believe it. Gotta give them a go. Next question: books or movies?
I would say it's probably books at the moment.
I think, yeah, long-term movies, but for knowledge books. Like,
Okay, last one. This is the big one. CrossFit Games gold medal or £1 million?
Oh,
first I like that stuff.
probably CrossFit Games gold medal.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like,
Awesome.
What am I going to do with £1 million?
neither of us do this for money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always an interesting one, that, because obviously depending on who you're speaking to, some people know the answer before we've even finished the question. Do you know what I mean? It's like, nope, it's gold medal,
Like,
regardless.
you go CrossFit Games gold medal, and they go CrossFit Games gold medal, and I'm like,
Or a happy relationship. Holds me now.
Love it.
Right, guys, thank you very much for joining us today. It's been real fun. And before we shoot off, if any of our listeners want to give you a follow or find out more about you, where do they find you guys?
After I've called out Zach George, they'll be unfollowing me.
Yeah, it's all right. They'll unfollow the podcast before they unfollow you. So, Jamie, where do we find you? Anything?
What's on Jay Greenwood?
What's mine, Jay Green?
And El, I know you. El Simo, awesome. We will link everything up in the show notes again. Again, guys, thank you very much for joining us. Thanks everyone for listening to another episode of AgogeTV. Obviously, find us on Facebook, YouTube, all the iTunes, all the major podcast providers that we are available on. And please, if you can, leave a review or a 5-star. Leave us a 5-star review or like, comment, and share. Thanks very much, guys. And Jamie, thanks for joining us.
Thank
Peace.
you.